All right, we're back with our Traveler solo scout campaign. Um, and we're working, of course, with our crew of the ISS Intrepid, currently on the edge of a new subsector. They've been tasked with doing some initial mapping. It's a rather large subsector. We'll see how far they go. This is a solo campaign using the Zoser solo rules for some random events and some other resources as I begin to understand them and add them. I've been looking at the core rulebook. And this is Mongoose Traveler 2E, the companion. I'm using the Deep Space Exploration also book. And then going back to Mega Traveler's World Builders, we're going to see some equipment ships from that, sheets from there. And then multiple other sources, maybe the original scouts from Classic Traveler. Going to assess them for world building along with the other world builder, but then the deep space also gives us a good sector design. So many resources to figure this out. And this is a solo campaign. Just a little philosophy. I don't necessarily have a big overarching story in place, and I'm like running a set of players. Instead, our crew is just a set of scouts going to be exploring this subsector, and as random events occur and other questions come up, we'll just see where the story goes. If you've been following, there's a lot of backstory on all our characters, especially the captain and the engineer. There's a story with the base commander, even with the captain. So there's a heavy amount of backstory too. So again, we're just going to see where this goes. So the point we're at now is they did go out and explore one of the planets in the system. They're taking their new ship, refurbished or just gone through overhaul ship, and doing a shakedown cruise of all the equipment, and they ran into problems. There was problems with the air raft. I've also resolved the problems. The captain got poisoned by some fauna, and just reading up on scouts, their normal procedure for a new planet is to work in vac suits. So at this point I'm going to surmise her vac suit malfunctioned, and that's what caused this. So this came out of the builders, world builders here. And you see here I've got this is their air raft they used. A bit cramped, but it does say these are easily on the ship. So this is the air raft they used, and they had problems with that, if you remember from the previous one. And I got a vehicle mishap table I can roll on, I think, from the companion. See if we can nail down that problem. And then there was a problem. They were using the tailored vac suit here, and there was a problem which caused this to happen, some malfunction or something more nefarious. So we're going to check into that too. So that's it. The first question we want to answer is, in the companion on the vehicles, there is a vehicle mishap table. So I'm going to go ahead. I didn't do this when it initially happened. I determined they got back. So basically it's 2D plus vehicle speed band. I'm going to assume the speed band was normal. Broken terrain, took a while. So they were conservative in their driving. So I'm going to make it a straight 2D6 to determine what, if anything, the problem was when this happened. So I've got 2D6 here, and the roll is, I got to do some adjusting here. 6. Okay, that's our 6. So let's go back here to our table. 5 or 6 control loss, cosmetic damage, becoming stuck, 2D person hours, 2D divided by the number of people working. We'll assume that's okay. So control loss and superficial damage. So I'm not going to worry about the time here. They're already back. So with 2D and superficial damage, let's look at the equipment sheet. So that shouldn't take long at all to fix. So the air raft is okay. Some kind of control loss, I don't know what. So that answers the question of what happened to the air raft. Just control loss and superficial damage. Let me record that. Superficial damage. Maybe the control loss was due to a malfunction in the control system. That's a possibility. So let's go ahead and jump to one of my other tables here. I've got tables coming out of everywhere. Let's see where I stashed that table. Here we go. So we can roll here. This is from that Solo RPG Master guide. Was it due to a malfunction or operator error? I'm just going to kind of bias this a little just to get what I want. Likely it was a malfunction. So I believe this is what am I rolling on here? A D20. So I'm going to have to get a roller for this. Or not. I just realized I can do that. 1D20. So let's go to my vassal again. I think it's this one. So 1 dice. 20 sides. 6. Let's see what that gives us here. Likelihood, likely 6. No, but. Okay, and then we got a 1d6 down here. So it wasn't a malfunction, but. Let's see what that gives us. And that's 1d6. But 4. So 1d6 but 4. Sorry about that. A fact the hero thinks they know is actually wrong. Okay. They're assuming it's a malfunction. So that's what happened. Assumes a malfunction. Assumed a malfunction. But not. Really. Interesting twist. Alright, so if we go back, and I've actually started the next thing we figured out, and I'm actually starting something new here. I'm trying to keep track. Kind of just came out of the bullet point. I'm kind of keep track of time and hours. So the last thing we noticed here was they came into orbit, discussed with the base, kind of standard to quarantine decom. So the ship lands and they're going to go through quarantine and decom. And then the question is how long? It's going to be 1D hours. So instead of jumping like this, let me pull up an internet die roller. So found my dice roller here. I need to save this. I just said 1d6 hours. So we roll the dice for 1 die. Of course, 6 hours. So let's pull this off. That means decom for 6 hours. So till high noon. So we got decom until high noon. Let's go ahead and delete these rows. Quarantine decom. Don't think there's going to necessarily be any random events here. The crew holds on for the decom. 6 hours. Then at the end of the 6 hours, crew comes out. Let's see. During this time, though, the captain's perception is captain's kind of okay. Endurance -3. She's recovering. Maybe 1 day of medical care rest and she'll be fine. Back to full strength. But there is a problem of the vacuum suit failure. And that is a malfunction. Now I'm going to throw in here maybe it was sabotage. I'll do that as an unlikely. But that's possible if you know the backstory here. So let me go back to this. Oh, it's under checklist. I'm going to have to clean that up. Maybe I'll put these in the Vassal mods. Okay, was it sabotage? I'm going to say unlikely. Unlikely, so we're going to roll a d20. Wow, there we go. Number of dice is 1. Oh, size on the dice is 20. Number of dice is 1. Unlikely, survey says. Gosh, seriously? Does it take this long to roll? Oh, stop. 18. Holy smoke. I'm going to say it's unlikely, and with an 18, it is totally unlikely. It was an actual malfunction. So, everything's indicating there isn't sabotage. So, let's go back to our campaign here, and not sabotage. Okay. Now, during quarantine, decom, captain contacts the base commander, and they're not on good terms. Commander's mad about equipment. What it thinks is equipment failures. First, the air raft control and the Vac Suit. So, the captain basically says, I want this place fully checked out before we go out again. We can't afford these failures. So she's wanting, full check of all gear, the air raft, and the ship as a check too. And you're going to see that's going to play into things because way back when we had that problem with Sonny, the engineer, yeah, he was doing maintenance. He almost, got hurt. Bob covered for it, saved him, covered for him. The ship was damaged, but they didn't think it was. And I'm going to say it was a jump drive because they didn't use it on this one. This was an in system, so that's appropriate thing. So there's something wrong with the jump drive, and they're not aware of it. So we're going to have to worry about that. But we got through the Vac Suit. Yeah, unlikely sabotage, Captain B mad, full repairs. And we'll see how long that takes. But I am curious about the reaction of the commander. I guess we can do this. See if anything changes. That's a 2d6 roll. Let's see the reaction here. See if they're still on the warpath. Sonny and the captain have kind of thawed their relationship. But let's see what the base commander, who's a relative of the captain from their home planet, but they were on opposite sides of the controversy. There's no stop button. Neutral. Nonchalant, I guess that's the reaction. That's good. Yeah, kind of got a, okay, I can play that. Neutral, nonchalant, whatever. Whatever, we'll do it. Okay. Doesn't really give a lot to it, but says, okay, whatever. So let's go here and say, commander's response is neutral. So it doesn't change their relationship. They're not teammates. Basically, whatever. Not impressed, but by the same token, it doesn't really change their relationship, so that's good. So, repairs needed. The air raft, it was superficial. That'll be done within a day. Vac suits. It wasn't sabotage, so they're going to do a check on all of that. The only really thing is, do they figure out if there's a problem with the jump drive in their check? And then the question is, was the jump drive problem caused by Sonny messing up the maintenance, or he missed it? Sonny, the engineer caused or missed it. And we did see earlier the engineer doesn't have an addiction, something. Could be alcohol, who knows what. So first off, let's see. Figured out the jump drive problem. Let's look at yes or no. I'm still going to go with this yes or no. Now the question is, what do I make it? I can make it unknown, an even chance. Or I can make it likely. You know, I'm going to go, they know what they're doing. It's going to be a likely roll. So let's find my handy dandy die roller. It's going to be likely they can find the problem. So we got a d20 again. This time I know to stop it once it starts. Likely 10. Yes, but okay, they do find the jump drive problem, but it's going to be 1d6 on the but table. I like that. I gotta say, roll dice. They find it, but subliminally bad or good timing by us. Oh, what does that mean? Well, subliminally bad or good timing. Well, they stumble upon it, so that's okay. Let's see, this is interesting. Oh, I'm right here. Yes, but stumble. Okay, I don't know what that rope plays, but then we got to decide if Sonny caused it or not, and that may help us here. So I'm going back to that handy dandy table again. Oops. Where did I stash it? Here. Okay, and did Sonny cause it? I'm going to go with a straight unknown. Let's see what happens. That's another d20. Did Sonny cause it? Straight d20. Here we go. This is going to be unknown. And survey says no. Well, that's a definitive one. A 2 on a d20? Poof, no. Okay, so Sonny missed it. That's the problem. And they just stumbled on it. Alright, well, I don't have to worry about them dying in space from a jump later when they do it. No, did not cause, just missed it. Okay, so this means they can repair it. And I'm going to say for repairs, we got jump drive repairs. I don't even know how to figure that out. So this is interesting. What do we got here? Vehicle messed up. Wasn't due to a failure, but they thought it was. Superficial damage. Decommed. We'll figure out the captain recovery here. Vac Suit wasn't sabotaged. Captain went after the commander for what she was saying, faulty checks, I guess, quality control checks. The commander was kind of like, whatever. Sends their people and just says, go check it out, see what's the problem. The air raft, if it was superficial, is repaired. I mean, within a day. They're going to be here for a day at least for her to recover. Then the jump drive. I don't know. They found it. I'm going to say 1D days to fix. And that'll give Sonny Captain to get better. And it takes how long to fix? And then if it's a long time, that'll get everything else. So 1D days coming up here. 3 days, that's fine. So they are in port for 3 days. And then what we need to figure out next is how long does it take Sonny to get better? And I think that's going to be rather fast here. Healing, even let's do natural healing at this point. could she say she was under Medcare? 3 plus DM. I mean, its natural healing is 1D plus endurance DM, day of full rest. Gonna have to look at this. This is 1 day of full rest gives that. Well, she's only got 3, so let's see if we just bag it in a day. Oh yeah, she's better in 1 day. So let's fill out our chart here. And then they're going to have to do a starport encounter because they're stuck here for a while. Let's see here, daily. Alright, so at 12 o'clock, what happens? Debark, start repairs. And this takes 3 days. So captain to med, and by the end of the day, yeah, let's just say she rolled like a 6. That's fine. 1 day, recoup. So she's in until noon the next day. Till noon. And then repairs, jump, drive, repair, 3 days. And then also gear check. I can roll for problems at the end of this. Air raft repair. And ship check. So they're cooling their heels for 3 days while all of this stuff is checked out. And then we'll decide what happens next. So yeah. Alright, so we want to answer 2 more questions and then we'll call it a recording here. We're at 22 minutes. Why was the trader ship? Well, let's do the starport encounter table. I think I've got that stashed. This is going to be from Zoser. This was from Zoser here. Onboard scouts. Maybe I have to dig it through. Yeah, it's not out. I didn't copy it out here. Ooh. Yep, don't see anything here. So let me pull it up in the Zoser manual. All right, here's the starport encounter. It's a D66. So that's going to be 2d6. Where did it go? There it is. So we just need 2 dice. And let's see what happens. 16. Security. Wow. I don't think this applies. Okay, let's just say they've noticed security is high. This will feed into what the heck that ship was impounded for. So we need to figure that out. Why was it impounded? I don't know. Let's think about the possibilities. Well, I'm thinking here that there's some illegal trade going on in the subsector. So they've increased security and review. It doesn't apply to the scout ship, obviously, this security, since we're part of the service, but the law enforcement arm is there. So how would this affect here? I don't think it really changes anything. We're going to ask why the ship was impounded. And at this point, I think I'm just going to say it's illegal trade and potentially pirates. Let's take a look at that. They kind of go together. Security increased in the starport. Makes sense. Trader ship was important to do illegal trade. They get this information now that they're back. There's illegal trade going on in the subsector, which means Maybe pirates. I don't have to resolve this, but there's some kind of illegal trade going on. And at this point, I don't know if they pinned it down to where or how it's going. There may be a pirate base out there for all I know. Okay. And so in response to this, the Imperial Naval Service sending a corvette squadron. Good, this will lead right into a naval campaign. I just don't know ETA. Let's say 1D weeks. Weekies. And we'll leave it at that. That'll be the last thing we figure out. Six weeks. Well, we won't be doing our naval campaign anytime soon. That would be, I'll have to look at the corvettes and figure out the jump. Maybe I'll tweak that. Or that's fine. So, in 6 weeks' time, we expect a corvette squadron to be stationed on the base also to start patrolling the subsector. So this may put a premium on doing jumps and doing surveys of the nearby sectors. So, looks like we're going to have 3 days downtime here. And after that time, we're going to have the question of where does the crew go next? Do they stay and do another shakedown cruise, or does this cause them to have to really start going and looking at, see if I can pull that up. There it is. And do they have any more leads on where this is going on? Now, most likely it'll be here because these planets look more habitable. I'll have to look up the UDP. So this may have to accelerate or get these guys out there checking this stuff out sooner rather than later. So yeah, we'll see. So 3 days cooling their heels. Security's tight on the base. The Navy's coming. Woohoo. And we'll see what happens. So I think that is the time on the base. And what did we... luckily, the captain and the commander aren't at each other's throats. The commander seems rather nonchalant. The captain does get what she wants. Everything's going to be checked out. Lucky for them, this was the one in the... Here, the air raft is repaired, no problem. Jump drive problem was they did actually find it. No, it wasn't caused by bad maintenance by Sonny. Sonny who missed it, so he's not going to take the blame for anything. And they're going to fix it, so I don't have to take that into effect when they do their first jump. So, at least for the crew's point of view, good stuff. They got 3 days to rest and recoup, especially the captain, full strength, and then in 3 days they are going to launch again. Probably this time they're not going to waste their time in system. They're going to start doing surveys of nearby systems here to potentially identify the illegal trade, although they're not equipped to take on pirates, but we'll just see what the tables say. So, perfect, right at 29 minutes. We've got some stuff done here. The story continues, and like I said, I'm just letting the tables, common sense, and this oracle I'm using from the Solo Masters RPG guide to kind of answer questions I ask. And yep, I think we've got an interesting story to do this. And soon the Navy will come in too. That'll throw a little dimension in here, and something illegal is going on out here. So the plot thickens. Yeah, if you like, click like. If you want to be notified for my next posting, please click subscribe. And comments, suggestions would be greatly appreciated. I'm still driving through all this traveler material to try and build a cohesive methodology here for all sorts of things using the companion, the core rulebook, Deep Space Explorer, reaching back to some the Mega Traveler World Builder. I'd love to get this Mega Traveler Starship Operations by Digest, but I can't find it. So I'm using Starship Operations from the main rulebook, which has a bunch of good stuff. And of course the ubiquitous Zoser solo tables, which we're going to be referring to here again at the next session to start seeing what we find out here. So anyway, we'll end it here. Thanks for listening. Catch you at our next installment of As the Intrepid Turns. Thanks.